On page 21, we're going to learn about place value and exponential form. But let's start with something you already know. You already know that about place value. So we have the ones, we have tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s. So now we're going to learn about, and you know about bases and exponents. So let's start with this problem. If I have 1 and I don't multiply it by any tens, so that'd be, and we're going to learn about the exponent form. So that'd be 0 tens so that's just going to be 0. So I'm going to write 0 in there. Now, if I multiply this by 110, I'm going to get 10. And that's what this looks like. I have 110. And so this is 10 to the first power. Now I'm going to multiply this by another 10. And I get 100. So now you're starting to see that we have the same base. So I have 10 twice, and that gives me 100. So when I am working on this, filling out this chart, I'm going to have 10 squared. So let's multiply this by 10 and see what happens. Again, I'm using the same base, and I get 1,000. So I have 10 3 times, and so that's 10 to the third power. Let's multiply this by 10 again. And I get 10,000. Again, same base, and I'm going to have 10, and let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 to the fourth power. Let's do this one more time. Let's multiply this by 10. I know it's getting all scrunched up there, but we could still do it. And I get 100,000. Again, I use the same base. And now I have it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 10 to the fifth power. Something else I want you to notice is this number. Let's highlight this in a different color so you can see it. The exponent form matches the number of zeros I have. So I have 10 to the fifth power, so I'm going to have 5 zeros. I have 10 to the third power, and I have 3 zeros. So that's something that's a really cool pattern. So 10 to the power of 1 is just 10. And anything to the power of 0 is always just going to be 1. So they want us to practice this with numbers. So if I break this down into factors of tens in the number, so I have 6 times 10. And so this would be 6 times 10 to the first power because I only have 1 0. Now, if I were to break 9 up into my powers of 10, I have 10, 9 times 10 times 10. And that gives me 9 times 100, or 9 times 10 squared. Now 2, I can't multiply it by 10 because it's just 2. So it'd be 10, or 2 times 10 to the by no 10, so it's just 2. So when we write this in this form, it'd be 2 times 10 to the 0 power because there's no 10s. Now they want us to reverse it. They give us the exponent form, and they want us to write it in standard form. So they want us to get eventually to a regular number that you use all the time. So let's look at this. I have 5 zeros. So I'm going to go 6 times 100,000, and that'll give me 600,000. And I put my comma in the wrong place. Now I have 8 times 10 to the first power, so it's going to be 8 times 10, because 1 0 equals 80. Now the question is, the place value is how many times greater to the value to the right. So every time when I go on this chart and I bounce from 1 to 10 and then keep going over, it's going to be 10 times greater.